episode 1 of the year of actually trying. I thought that explaining what this year is all about would be a good place to start, so let's get into that. The year of actually trying was an idea that I had when I was reflecting on the goals that I've set myself over the past few years as I was preparing for this year's goals. I realised that there were a few things that were on my goals list like every year for the past few years, but I just never seemed to consistently work on them, even though they were things that I wanted to achieve. A few of those things were learning piano, learning French, and focusing on my writing more consistently, and also trying harder when it comes to my relationship with movement and my body, because although I have always been, for a long time I've been into fitness and the gym, and have been to bar classes and did a metric half marathon last year, I haven't always been the most consistent with it in more recent years. So at the moment I'm trying for 10,000 steps a day, and starting that in winter is a challenge. When reflecting on the why behind this series, I realised that particularly with these things, I'd definitely been kind of coasting with them. And even though they're things that when I do actually do them, I tend to always really enjoy it, I just was falling into the trap of finding it easier to not do them. Particularly when it comes to the piano and French, where there's a challenge there. For me, it has been easier to not challenge myself. Although I have practiced them in some sort of way at some point over the past few years, I haven't practiced with discipline and consistency. And although I do think that you have to strike a balance with that, I do think that you can't always be pushing, particularly when it comes to things you enjoy, because then they lose their enjoyment. I know that for myself right now, some discipline and consistency is probably quite long overdue. Sometimes when I think about this, I do have to consider that I probably do have quite a lot of unprocessed grief that can impact and has impacted quite a lot of the ideas that I've come up with over the past few years. For example, I came up with the idea for my blog and sharing more online about 6 months before my mum passed away. I always thought that there were kind of two ways you could go. You either went to a place of, oh my gosh, life's so short, I need to do everything now, I need to, really just take a hold of my life, or you could go the other way and you can end up in a depressive episode and kind of feel like, what's the point? I hadn't really considered that there's this third option, and this third option is just remaining quite stagnant, where nothing that you're doing is terrible, but then you're not really doing anything too great for yourself either, and you're kind of just existing and probably processing a lot of stuff just under the surface. And I think that's the place where I've been, and I do think that it's important to remember that when you lose a loved one, life doesn't stop, and you do have to carry on, and you have to carry on in a way that really serves you and your growth and your development. So as mentioned, one of the things that I really want to work on is learning the piano. And the books that I've chosen to use are the Faber Piano Adventures books. I've done a lot of research actually into what might be the best books to learn from, particularly when you're kind of teaching yourself, and these ones kept coming up over and over again. So I've got these, which I have started over the years but I'm going to start it officially from the beginning again and work my way through that. And then I also have the popular songs one and the classical one. For learning French, again, it's quite book focused. I read something online when I was kind of reading about tips and tricks to learn a language. I read that people kind of suggest reading your favourite childhood books but in your chosen target language, because the story is familiar to you and you have the context of the story, it can be easier to kind of piece together the words and make sense of them. So I have this like short stories book, and then I also, of course, it's Harry Potter. That's the book that I am reading, or I'm going to be reading in French. I have again started it a tiny bit, but yeah, I need to really get stuck into that. As for writing and sharing online more, that's what I'm doing here. I also do have my blog, and then I am considering, although I don't know, this is a bit scary to me, but I'm considering looking at writing competitions. That's something that I've looked at a lot over the years, and I've always just kind of been like, I won't be able to do it. But it's the year of actually trying, so I need to actually try. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with writing. I have dreams maybe of writing a book one day, but yeah, we'll see what this year brings. So here I am declaring that it's time to take things more seriously, and the most important word there is things. I'm taking things more seriously, things that I enjoy, things that I want to achieve. I am not expecting to be taken seriously, that's completely out of my control, but I want to take control of taking the things that I enjoy and want to achieve more seriously. So here's to 2026, the year of actually trying, and I will see you next week.